Hello TikTokers. Well, this is part 2 of why rape happens. And yeah, a lot of times it's just because for the perpetrator, it's never the first time. For the victim, it usually is. So she has less experience, and I'm talking about male perpetrators on female victims for the purposes of this video. And it's inspired by Queen Ifrika speaking out. So, I wanted to kind of say why I believe it happens, and it's mainly because we trust the person that we're with. We miss the red flags, the glinting eyes, the playful touching, the frequent smiles, trying to get you alone, trying to get you to drink. There's usually a process that happens with rape, unless it's one of these ones where these crazy people on the street just whiz you off. But I'm talking about rape that happens within the family, incestual rape. This is the video I'm referring to now. So it's usually a situation that's been created to make the individual or the victim feel safe. Usually a vulnerable child, the mother lacks support, the mother is going about her business, and maybe the mother's even paid the man, not paid him, taken payment from the man so he can sleep with her daughter. There is no protection for the girl child at all. So, because you've missed the signs when rapes happen, you feel stupid, responsible, guilty, embarrassed. You convince yourself that you are to blame, and it becomes your dirty little secret. You tell your mother kind of dismisses it or minimises it and says, she doesn't believe you. That's what happens in a lot of cases. Often, if the rapist is a family member, you remain in their company, susceptible to further abuse. You try to avoid the gaze. You have not betrayed him or told anyone. He sees you as complicit because you haven't said anything to anyone. It's like people who steal or murder. Once they get away with it, they're likely to do it again. The same with the rapist. If you've got a family member who you haven't betrayed, who you haven't reported, he will see that as you agreeing to the rape. And he won't even see it as rape. He will just see it as you wanting it, and he'll take it. And you won't have a leg to stand up, especially when it happens more than once and you're not saying anything. So evidence, how do you tell someone what has happened to you? Is there a time frame? Supposing you're not ready, supposing you're so traumatized and scared, and the repercussions, can you imagine the repercussions of betraying a family member? You don't know what's going to happen. That is your safe haven. And if you say something and then everybody turns against you, what do you do? Where do you go? Who have you got? Who's got your back? No one. No one has your back anyway, really, in reality. But it's even worse when you speak out and you're not guaranteed the support and protection that you need. So supposing you're not ready to say what's happened to you, supposing you're so traumatized, does it matter if you disclose it 2 days after, 2 weeks after, 2 months after, 2 years after, 2 decades after? Does it really matter? Whether it's 40 years after or 50 years after? Who determined that time frame? What is the statute of limitations? Why should there be any? If it happened, it happened. And until you speak out and disclose it, you're going to be suffering inside. And yes, the longer you leave it, the less likely people are to believe it. And also, you reach a period of acceptance in some cases where you just say it happened, I can't be bothered to bring it up. It's happened, a lot of people say he'll get his punishment in hell, or something will happen to him, or, get his just desserts, karma, all that kind of stuff. People justify it when they keep it to themselves. And if it's safer keeping it to themselves, so they should. They don't have to reveal it. They do not have to disclose it. There's nothing in this world that says you have to tell anybody everything that's happened to you, whether it's to your husband, to anybody. If that is your dirty little secret, let it be your dirty little secret. So, in the meantime, while you're in this house, this family household, you've got this family member constantly violating you or trying to. and you feel uncomfortable, you feel vulnerable, you're scared, you don't know what to do. So you hold it in, then what? It affects your behaviour in relationships. You have insecurities and experience self-hatred. Despite how beautiful and clean you look on the outside, you feel ugly, dirty on the inside. So you accept substandard relationships where men treat you abominably or badly, and the abuse is perpetuated in different ways. Okay, the alternative, you let it out, and then what? Your children have lost their role model, the mother is damaged, the father isn't around, friends question your integrity and your judgment, like Queen Ifrika and many like her. You speak out about the injustice, but you're called a liar. You're called mad. The perpetrators deny it. Who's got your back? The other people's behaviour makes you feel fragile. You expect support, but instead you get criticism. What is the outcome, the impact? How do we safeguard vulnerable adults and children? Teenagers who are not supported by their parents, parents who give up their daughters for money. How do we prevent children from being abused by family members? We could do that by listening to them, by believing them, by watching their body language, by speaking out. Those are the main things. Not every time your child comes and tells you, oh, you know, this person abused me, you laugh at them and minimise it as though it's nothing. And the women are the worst ones sometimes, because they don't even back the child. Even though it could have happened to them, they're still disbelieving. They don't want to believe that so-and-so would do that. And so they go into a form of